Hello, everyone. So, I guess this is happening. I am doing a podcast. I don't really know if anyone will actually listen to this, but welcome nonetheless. This is the first episode of A Little Murky, and I'm your host. You can call me Murky. And yeah, I'm just here to talk about my experiences, my thoughts, random things that have happened in my life, or just daily life in general. I really like to talk. Um, and I've been thinking about doing a podcast for a really long time. I was just a few days ago, I was just speaking to myself a lot because I had a lot to say. And I thought, you know what, it's time to do this. A little disclaimer before we get into this. You will be hearing some random noises here and there. Maybe a bark, maybe a car, maybe some people, some clanking, some shuffling perhaps. All due to the fact that I do not have professional equipment yet. I'm just recording on my phone, surrounded by blankets. You might also hear a cat. That is my cat. And yeah, that's it for the disclaimer. I think I don't have anything else to say about that. Okay, so grab the drink of your choice and come join me into this. I am having a hibiscus, rose, and lemongrass tea. And yeah, let's get into it. Today's topic will be driving. I have not been driving for a long time, but I still have a lot to say about it, because even in the little span that I've been driving, a lot happens in the road because a lot of people should not have their licenses. It's bizarre how many people drive recklessly, and some days I'm genuinely terrified to get behind the wheel, even though I really enjoy driving. It's one of my favorite things. It's so freeing, but it's also terrifying because of how many idiots there can be on the road. Let's start with the day I got my license. I got my license on April of this year at the ripe age of 23 because I was studying in a different city and for university, and the roads there and the people driving were awful. I was refusing to go sit exams for a driver's license in this city, so I decided to wait until I'm done. So yeah, my actual driver test, because there's a theoretical part and a practical part. I will never forget that day. It was so weird. We were a group of 4 people that all had the same teacher, and we were all going to sit the exams one after the other. He told us, pick which one is gonna go first, second, third, and fourth, and let's just do this. The girl that went first terrified all of us because she failed, and she told us that the guy that will examine us is a jackass. That's why she failed. and we all got terrified. But the truth is, it was her fault, because you have to do a backwards turn. I don't really know how to say this in English, but in order to do this, you have to go on the right side and of the road, and you have to do a turn backwards. And she stopped on the left side, and that's why she got cut. But yeah, I don't know how my laughing sounds on the recording. I hope it doesn't ruin anybody's ears, because sometimes I don't actually laugh. I just make a sound, and I don't know if that sound picks up well on the mic. Alas. So yeah, we were terrified. I was third. So the second girl told us, "Oh, I passed. Everything went fine." I was a little relieved, but she told me the second I was about to go sit the exam, I was shaking. I was shaking so badly. My foot on the clutch was trembling. I was at any moment about to bust into tears. But I did well. I was so freaked and anxious. I think my teacher spoke to the examiner and told him, "Okay, this girl has an anxiety problem, so be cool with her." Because the examiner, the moment I stepped in, he told me there's no need to be anxious. You're gonna forget this day. You're never gonna think back to it. Well, you're wrong, mister. You're wrong. I still think about it sometimes. So yeah, you get in the car, he asks you some questions, you start driving. He asks you to park, he asks you to do the backwards turn, and then you're supposed to end right where you started. You do like a circle. But we didn't do a circle because my examiner wanted to go get his cigarettes from his car. So I stopped at a random place and he got off, and it was just before Easter. And I remember, and my teacher, when the examiner got out of the car, my teacher said, "Say thank you." "Why?" I asked. He said, "Because you passed." And I started crying. Saying, "I did?" He said, "Yeah, you passed. It's say thank you to the examiner. Thank you. Happy Easter." I was I was so confused, so stressed and so confused. But I got my license. Yay. And I didn't drive alone until May. I would only drive with my dad in the car, not because it's required, but because I was terrified. And the reason I was terrified is the fact that, like I said, so many people drive recklessly. I'm gonna give you an example of people not using their blinkers. That really grinds my gears so much. I don't know what's wrong with people. What goes through their mind to not use blinkers? Because how else are the other drivers gonna know where you're gonna go? Am I supposed to guess that you're just suddenly gonna turn left and you stopped in the middle of traffic? Like, I don't know. Let me get a sip of my tea real quick. A little parenthesis, another reason I was really prompted to start the podcast was the fact that I can't go to sleep if I don't listen to Relax with Animal Facts. Big shout out to my guy Stefan Wolf. He doesn't know me. He has no clue who I am. But I don't know. His podcast really drove me to actually start this. And he always has tea and says, "Let me get a sip of this real quick." I love it so much. Anyway, parenthesis closed. About blinkers. The other day, I was coming back from work. Another parenthesis that I'm gonna analyze a little later. I got fired. Like, I'm recording this the day after I got fired but the time this will be posted, 2 weeks will have passed. So yeah, I'm recording these in advance. I don't know what's gonna happen 2 weeks into the future. So yeah, I got fired. I'm gonna talk about that a little later. And I will talk about my job, my ex job, in a different episode because I have a lot to say. Yeah, I was coming back from work and I had just entered my village. Technically, it is a little town, but we call it a village here. What was I saying? This happens sometimes. Yeah. And I'm just entering my village, and there's a truck parked on the side of the road. We have a lot of coffee shops and takeaway shops there. And the driver probably stopped to grab a drink or eat something. I don't really know. He had the alarm on, and I was driving pretty slowly because I was in the speed limit there is either 50 kilometers or 40. I'm not sure. But I was going around the speed limit, maybe a little higher because I was slowing down. I was just entering from the big road. It's not a highway, but it's a bigger road, you know. I don't know if you know. But yeah. And the dude or woman, most likely dude where I'm at, because it was a truck driver, wants to merge. And did I know that he wanted to merge? They want. I don't know who was driving the truck. I didn't see. Did I know that they wanted to merge? No, I didn't. You know how I figured out? He just merged. I said he again. Anyway, let's pretend it was a guy, for the sake of the story. He just merged. He turned the blinker on for a split second. Literally, he turned it on and then he was into the road with incoming traffic behind him. I had to brake so much because I was so close to him when he decided to merge. And that happens quite often on that spot. People just merge into traffic after they have stopped to grab a coffee. It's really frustrating. And yeah, that happened. We didn't crash. I was gonna say obviously, but it's not obvious. We could have. Cause I'm still pretty new at driving. Okay. It hasn't been a year since I got my license. And I started lessons in February. I've been driving since February. It's not that I got my license, but I have been driving for years. No, I started driving in February and I got my license on April. And now, while I'm recording, it's the end of September, but when this will be posted, it will be the beginning of October. It's been a little over 6 months since I started driving, but it hasn't been a year. I'm still a newbie that sometimes goes fast. Don't tell my mom, although she knows. Anyway, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. They gave me a convertible that doesn't convert. I will talk about my car in another episode. I love my car so much, but it's such a shit box. I swear to God. Yeah, it's they gave me a car that goes fast for a person that just got their license. I'm not complaining. I love it. It looks like shit, but I love it so much. Excuse my language. I might put this episode as explicit because I use profanity sometimes. I'm not very proud, but I do. Yeah, I don't remember what I was talking about. I think I was talking about that I haven't got into a crash. Yeah, I haven't. The only thing have done is I hit a curb one day with my tire, and I thought I actually crashed the car. I was going to my father's business and I was trying to park. I still can't really park. I can, but it takes me like 15 minutes. It's a hassle. I'm not good at parking. I can drive pretty well. I'm a little proud about that. If I step on the gas a little too much, I start yelling, Ayrton Senna! It's a problem. It's a problem. But we have a lot of cops, so I try to slow down. um, but yeah, I was going to my dad's shop, and I was about to park, and I was too close to the curb, and I hit it with my tire. And I rolled down the window and I started crying, yelling, Dad, Dad, I crashed. I wouldn't come out of the car to check what actually happened. I was scared. I was yelling, I ruined the car, stuff like that. And he came out. He saw me crying. He's like, what? Oh, I crashed. He's like, no, just you hit the curb with a tire. You're fine. Nothing happened. You see this little white streak here? It's just the tire. Thankfully, it wasn't the... Oh my god, I don't remember what they're called in English right now. The thing the tire goes into. You know? Like the metal ones. Yeah, I cannot remember what they're called. But yeah, thankfully I didn't hit that thing. That would need replacing, but I did hit my tire. And I thought I really crashed. I was terrified. I just got the car and I ruined it, although it's already kind of ruined because it's my age and it needs a paint job. No, I'm not going to talk about my car more. I'm going to do it another time. I promise. I promise. Well, what else? What else can I complain about? Oh, the other day, again at my village's like square, main square. We only have one square. It's the main one because there is no other. It's very busy. It's very busy, and people drive in a very stupid way because half of them want to park to stop to go to a shop, but there's traffic almost constantly, so everybody comes to a halt, and there's a weird stop sign that most people don't even stop there, and I've almost crashed with multiple people because they wouldn't stop when they have a stop sign. It's odd, it's iffy. I have so many examples that I can't actually think of a specific one. But the other day, I was coming back from work, which I'm not gonna do again. And a guy, he didn't just double park, he triple parked. They had already double parked, and he parked in the middle of the road. And there was so much traffic coming from the opposite direction. I had to stop. and wait until there was an opening. And I wasn't coming back from work. I was coming back from the doctor because I was with my mom in the car, and I was yelling, when am I gonna get a chance to leave? And she was like, when there's an opening. I know I'm gonna leave when there's an opening, but when? I get very road ragey, and the moment there was an opening, I just stepped on the gas and left while pouting. Another thing about my car is that I don't have a honk. I don't have a horn, so I can't honk. It's broken, and I need to pay like 200 something bucks to fix it, because the wiring is also messed up. It's I don't know. And that kind of helps the fact that I get a little road ragey. The fact that I don't have a horn, but sometimes it's so useful and I don't have it. For example, one day I was stuck behind a douchebag on a traffic light. It turned green and he was just sitting there smoking a cigarette, and I had no way to tell him to move on, to get, excuse my language, the fuck out of my way so I can go back home. I'm just realizing I don't think this is what I sounded like on the trailer. Maybe the trailer will be a little misleading. The trailer sounded like you can listen to this podcast while trying to fall asleep. I don't know if you can. Because when my friends listened to it, they said, "Oh my god, your voice sounds so soothing." Thank you. I don't think this is the same vibe. I try to speak in that voice, not because my voice can get very high pitched if I'm riled up. I'm trying to keep like a chill vibe, but I don't have a chill vibe. This is my vibe. A little chaotic, a little murky, if you may. I made a pun. Anyway, let me let me drink some tea. Oh, I'm so sorry for that sound. I hit the lamp with my clock. I'm so sorry. Let me get some tea though. Okay. So yeah, I was behind a guy. The light was green. I couldn't honk. So I was just revving. He didn't care. And he left. He left the moment the light turned orange. It hurt my ego. It really hurt my ego not having a horn again. At that moment, I really wanted to honk at him, but I couldn't because I don't have a horn. And my friend really makes fun of me about it. So, yeah. I have a lot more examples. Some of them I don't want to share because it was kind of my fault on the road. Some other ones are really me just really complaining about and nitpicking things. So I don't really want to talk about stuff like that. But yeah. Oh, another thing, I just remembered this, is there are a lot of tractors in the area, and it's so fun being stuck behind a tractor and not being able to pass them. Especially when I first got my license, I couldn't pass tractors. I couldn't pass cars. It was very difficult for me. Now I don't care, because I've been driving every day for the past, since May. Except a few weeks that I wasn't going to work because of health issues, which I will talk about on episode 3. And episode 2, I will tell y'all about my cat. So yeah. But again, noises, I'm sorry. I can't really move around. It's a little, it's been 25 minutes. I really want to stretch. So yeah, I think this is it for this episode. I would really love to hear about if you guys have anything that really bothers you while you're driving, or something that you've noticed that happens, or a little silly story or scary story while driving, because there are also these. I do have a lot of stories of when my dad was driving, but this was more of me behind the wheel episode. So yeah, I would love to hear about your stories. You can find me on Instagram at A Little Murky. You can find me on Threads at A Little Murky. You can find me on X at A dash little dash murky, because A Little Murky was taken. You can send me an email at alittlemurky@gmail.com. I do have a TikTok account, but I haven't posted anything there yet. I might, I'm not sure. And you can always leave a comment here on Spotify. In the future, I will set it up so the podcast is also on other platforms. For the time being, it's just on Spotify. Thank you very much for listening. And if you got all the way to the end, thank you times squared. I mean, if you got all the way to the end, you're the only one who's gonna hear the thank you for listening, so there is no reason to actually say this. But yeah, I would love to hear some stories from you guys. And yeah, that's all from me. See you on the next episode. Bye!